Hello, Facebook. How are you? Hey, guys. Give me a moment while I get us all started here. How's your day been? How's your week been? We're over the hump now. We're moving into the end of week territory. For some of us, that has more meaning than others. But we all are grateful. Share. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Joey. Share. Okay. So now we are all shared out on Facebook. Let's get ourselves over to Instagram. Okay. Hello, my lovelies. Give me 1 second. Nike versus Puma. Hey, J Fly, I believe your name is. Hey, thanks for joining. Okay, we are getting started in just a few minutes. We always get started at 8:05. I'm going to give you guys some time to come on into the room. Yeah. Happy Wednesday, guys. I hope, you're feeling all right. Hey, MJ Jackson. Hi, Lala Pico. Hey, guys. What's going on? Facebook. MJ. Hi, Zephyrina. For those watching on Facebook, I'm broadcasting from a different device. So MJ, if you're still in here, let me know how the delay is. Because I switched devices to see if we could cut down on the delay for Facebook because it was really bad. So let me know how your girl is doing. Okay. Happy to see my friends here. We got Zephyrina, we got MJ Jackson. Who else we got? We got some new friends. Happy to see everybody. Hey, AP Jackson. We got 2 Jacksons in here. Are y'all related? I'm just kidding. I know that's a common name. Don't mind me. Believe it or not, my last name is very common where my family is from. If you didn't know, I'm Haitian. So my last name, Pierre Louis, it is like the equivalent of Smith in Haiti. There's like so many. Okay. All right, so we are getting, it depends. So we are getting started very shortly. We don't have a lot of stories today. Pretty cool so far, good. Okay, thank you. We don't have a lot of stories today, so I think the second half of the show will probably just be open Q&A. So you guys can take this time now to think of any questions that you want to ask me regarding, business formation and just kind of business structure. And wherever we stop in the show tonight, we will just start with Q&A, all right? So you can pick my brain for the free 99. Okay. Oh, shoot. Time passed by quickly. Okay. So it's time to get started, guys. Invite your friends, all right? And here we go. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday and welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday through Thursday live broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. Now I know that we have a lot of, regulars in here, and hey y'all, I'm so happy that you're here. But for those who might be watching the replay and it might be your first time seeing me, if you're wondering who I am, I'm Natalie Pierre-Lewis. I'm the host of the show and owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help, amazing people like yourself get your business paperwork in order. So things like getting your EIN number, registering your business with the state, making sure you have your DUNS number, contracts, hiring employees properly, basic brand protection strategies, understanding how to separate your finances, operating agreements, partnership agreements. I help you do all of those things, okay? If you are wondering how I am qualified or why I am qualified to help you do all of those things, I am a licensed attorney with a specialization in business formation, and I've been licensed for 14 years and counting. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education, hey, Sincere 39, as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be successful in business, that's just something there's just things that you need to know, okay? No way around it. So that is why I am here. If you would like to work with me to make your business dream a business reality, I want you to go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm, because there you're going to be able... Thank you. There you're going to be able to do a few things. For those of you who need a crash course in entrepreneurship, you're going to want to pick up my Business Startup Basics video training. It is 4 videos and 3 ebooks giving you all of the steps that you need to be a legit business, and giving you those directions as to where do you find this information, how do you get it set up, what are the parameters for that, like all of the things that so I remember when I first started, and I would go to people who had businesses but didn't have anything in order, and I'd be looking at them like, okay, where's your EIN number? Deer in the headlights. Are you registered with the state? Deer in the headlights. Do you have a business license? Deer in the headlights. This video training is going to give you kind of that checklist with the meat attached to it, so that you're like, okay, I know I need to do this, and here's where I need to go get it. All right, so go pick up Business Startup Basics. As well, you're going to be able to pick up the Biz Launch cheat sheet. It's not as extensive as Business Startup Basics, but it is a free PDF that will give you kind of, a quick and dirty list of, okay, here's how you get your business set up in 7 days or less. It's helped a lot of people, so you can go pick that up too, completely free. Thank you for the lovely compliments. And you will also be able, if you are a first-time client, to set up a free 15-minute consultation, okay? First-time clients always get free 15-minute consultations. And if you're not a first-time client, you can always take advantage of Talk to Me Tuesday, where you get 25 minutes for $25, or you can book a full 1-hour coaching session for $247. All right? Enough about me and my business. Let's talk about the show. Now, we got plenty of people who have been here several times before. Y'all know what the deal is, but we want to make sure that any new people who might be watching, they understand what is happening. So here's what happens. I pull stories from the news, stories that you guys send me, stories that I see on, blog sites, things like that. And I pull ones that I feel like have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and that also that we can relate to, all right? Because business concepts, they can be a little bit boring. They can be a little bit, unrealistic when you think about it in abstract terms. So it's really beneficial when you can see how the business and the law interact in real life, right? So we find stories like that and we talk about them. It's a discussion. I want to hear from you guys. I love when you ask questions. I love when you give your commentary. I will ask your input on things. And also, like I said earlier, we don't have a lot of stories tonight. So if we finish early, which we probably will, we are just going to transition into Q&A, all right? So I want you to get all your business formation questions ready. Is it raining? Oh, sorry, guys. It sounded like thunder outside. Get all your questions together, and get ready to pick my brain, all right? So let's get started. Let me make sure, am I ready? Are we all ready? Everybody just, stretch a little bit, get yourself comfortable, get ready. All right, all right, all right. So the first story that we are talking about, and this is the biggest story, Nike versus Puma. All right, let me see. Let's take a little vote. If you are Team Nike, give me an N. If you are Team Puma, give me a P. If you prefer Nike, give me an N. If you prefer Puma, give me a P. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only brand that you ever wear. It just means that, given the choice, which one would you pick? So, which one would you pick, Nike or Puma? I personally would pick Nike because, thank you, AP Jackson. AP Jackson said she picked N. She'd pick Nike. I would too, just because I like to work out a lot. Sincere39 would pick Nike. Zephyrina would pick Nike. Yeah, I would pick Nike too. Not just because they're nice sneakers, but also because they're athletic sneakers. I like to work out a lot. And I also need shoes that are kind of specially designed for working out because I got low arches and I need a lot of arch support. And Nike can give you that arch support, right? And we know that Nike has always been at the cutting edge of shoe technology. So how many of you guys have heard of Nike's smart shoes? If you have heard of Nike's smart shoes, give me a raised hand emoji. If you have not heard of Nike's smart shoes, just give me a no in the comments, okay? If you have heard or seen Nike's smart shoes, give me a hands raised emoji. If you have not heard of Nike's smart shoes, just give me a no in the comments, okay? And while you do that, I'm going to catch you guys up a little bit, all right? So you have not heard of Nike smart shoes, Sincere39. It's okay. This is actually kind of going back to a story that I talked about several months ago, that Nike was trademarking the word footwear as in like FOOTWARE, like software, but with foot in front of it. We talked about this a long time ago, and I was just kind of like letting you guys know. Oh, MJ Jackson says she loves them both. It's a hard choice. Okay. But yes, so we talked about this a few months ago or several months ago that Nike was trademarking the word footwear, FOOTWARE, right? And it was because Nike was coming out with a series of smart shoes. Apparently, Nike has a shoe that is self-lacing. How many of y'all would like a self-lacing pair of sneakers? They also have a pair of shoes that you can tighten or loosen from an app on your phone. Now, I don't know why someone would need these, but they sound pretty cool. Are these products that, hi Violet Owl Creations, are these products that you guys would be interested in, self-lacing shoes or shoes that you can loosen and tighten from an app on your phone? How many of you guys would be interested in that? Just give me a simple yes or no in the comments. Because, I know that if I went to the store and I saw them, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. But I don't know that I would trust a shoe to lace itself. And, well, yeah. It's like I have the way that I like to lace my shoes. Zephyrina said, oh, Zephyrina's son has heard of the self-lacing shoes. We need to ask the children. The children know what is on the horizon. I'm old. I don't know what's hip, hot, and fresh. Okay. AP Jackson said, yes, in my older age. AP Jackson wants a pair of self-lacing shoes. Your son said, yes. All right. Oh, you know what? That is a good, excuse me. That is a good, I forget the term for it, but MJ Jackson said, those might be shoes that are good for someone who is, physically challenged or physically disabled. A pair of I do know people who, have impaired limbs. A pair of self-lacing sneakers, that could be a game changer for someone who, maybe wants to be athletic. Oh, your son's 13. He know what's hip, okay? Your son is the demographic that all of these businesses are looking for because they know he's going to say, Mom, I want this. Hi, Rick T7737. Yeah. So MJ Jackson, that is a really good insight. Those would be awesome shoes for people who are physically impaired. Self-lacing shoes or shoes that you can tighten and loosen from your phone. Okay, all right. I thought it was just kind of for, style or just to be cool. But now that MJ Jackson has said that, I think that that is an amazing, use for these shoes. So in that vein of Nike unveiling these self-lacing shoes, these shoes that you can tighten from your phone, they have filed a trademark for the word footwear, Footware, and they filed it in the category for sneaker-specific hardware and software products and services, okay? Now, there have not been any commercials using, Zephyr, you agree? Yeah. There have not been any commercials using footwear yet, right? And that's okay, because when Nike filed this application for footwear, they filed it as intent to use and what to use. And what that means is, yes, you do have to think Universal, MJ Jackson. What that means is when you file a trademark application and it's intent to use, what you're telling the trademark office is, hey, I'm not making money from this yet, right? But I'm about to, so that's why I'm filing this, so I can protect the name now. So it's not on the market yet, but it's going to be on the market, so I'm protecting it. That's what it means when you file an intent to use application, all right? So Nike filed their intent to use trademark application for the word footwear. And when they first filed it, they got a little bit of pushback from the USPTO, because the USPTO wanted to know, is the term footwear, Footware, is that a term of art within the sneaker industry? Meaning, is the term footwear, Footware, is that a common term in the footwear industry, particularly in the athletic shoe industry? So I don't know if we have any sneakerheads here. Zephyrina, maybe you could ask your son, but is footwear, Footware, is that a term that is common amongst the athletic shoe community? Because that was the USPTO's problem with Nike. They were like, hey, Nike, this word footwear that you're trying to trademark, is this a word that you guys made up, or is this a term that is common in your industry? Because if it's common in your industry, you're not going to be able to trademark it, right? So Nike writes back, they're like, hey, USPTO, no, this is not a term of art in the industry. Nobody else uses this term footwear. So can you please put our application through? So remember, when you file your trademark application, it's kind of a back and forth between you and the USPTO. You say, hey, USPTO, can you please trademark this? USPTO, they're either going to say, yes, let me just put this up for opposition to see if anybody opposes, or if they think something might be wrong with it, they're going to say, hey, we kind of have a question about this. So can you please answer our questions before we move on with your application? Zephyrina said, my son said it's common. Oh, your son said it's common. Ooh. Well, Nike might have a fight on their hands, because after they told the USPTO that the term footwear, WARE, is not common, the USPTO, they put the application up for opposition, meaning they put it out there and they said, hey, does anybody have a problem with Nike trademarking the word footwear? And Puma popped up and said, absolutely not. Nike should not be able to trademark the word footwear because it is a term of art within the athletic shoe industry. It is not uncommon. It is a very common word. That is what Puma is telling the USPTO. As a matter of fact, Puma has their own, techie shoe that's coming out called the Puma RS computer shoe. Okay. So, if you guys are into tech and stuff like that, you might want to look into these Nike and Puma shoes that are coming out. Now, this is an interesting pushback from Puma, because Puma and Nike actually just settled a patent infringement case where Puma was at fault. Nike said that Puma was, ripping off Nike's designs, and they sued Puma for that. And they basically, instead of going through the whole trial, Puma decided to settle with Nike. But now Puma is coming after Nike's footwear trademark application, okay? So my question to you guys is, All right, since we've gotten an expert from in the form of Zephyrina's 13-year-old son who's way into sneakers, that footwear is common within the athletic shoe industry, right? So what do we think is going to happen with Nike's application now that ooh, girl, I don't even want to think about the price. Zephyrina said, "Gosh, can you imagine the price?" I'm not even going to think about that. But now that Nike is getting this pushback from Puma, and Puma is like, no, girl, footwear is not Nike's creation. It's actually very well known in the athletic shoe industry. What do you think is going to happen with Nike's trademark? Now remember, Nike has not used this term in public yet. It's not an advertisement, it's not on shoes. So what do you think is going to happen with Nike's trademark application for the word footwear? What do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you what I think. I don't think Nike is going to take this line down. MJ Jackson said, did all shoe brands get notified? No, I don't think they get notified. I just think that shoe brands, especially shoe brands that are as large as Nike and Puma, they have dedicated legal teams that are out here making sure that people, checking on their competitors. What is my competitor doing? What's their next step? Because you want to stay ahead of the game, right? So Puma was, they probably had their lawyers. Their lawyer was like, oh shoot, Nike just filed a trademark for footwear. Hold up, I don't like this. So it's not that the USPTO notified the other shoe companies. It's just that when the USPTO, they will put a trademark application up for opposition. So it's kind of like, think about if you are doing a PhD, you have to defend your thesis, right? You have to write this big long paper, and then you have to go before this panel of experts and defend your paper. This is kind of the same thing with the USPTO. You file your application, and then the USPTO puts the application out there in the world for a panel of whoever else in your industry to judge whether this trademark application is okay or not. Meaning, will anybody say, or think of it like a wedding when somebody says, speak now or forever hold your peace. The USPTO put the application out there and said, speak now or forever hold your peace. Do you have a problem with these people trademarking this term? Okay. Yes. All right. So I'm glad that I explained that for you, MJ Jackson. So Nike, they're getting this pushback from Puma. What do we think is going to happen between Nike and Puma? Do we think that Nike is going to get this trademark for footwear? Or do we think that, they might have to change things? They haven't used it yet. They've only filed an intent to use application. There are currently no products out here with the label footwear on them. So what do we think is going to happen with Nike and this footwear trademark application? Oh, wow, that case took a long time. What do we think, guys? I know that took a long time, but, I wanted to make sure that we all understood everything. But yeah, I think that Nike is probably going to have to drop this trademark application, especially if, just asking, a sampling of people here. Granted, it's one person, but I'm sure that if we found people who were open arms cleaning, I'm sure if we found people who were, quote unquote sneakerheads or were into, athletic sneakers, they would be able to give us a better assessment of what is going on in the athletic shoe community. But if it is true that this is a term of art and that it is common amongst the athletic shoe community, my guess is that Nike's application is going to be denied and they're not going to be able to trademark footwear, W-A-R-E. But I would love to know you guys' opinions before we move on to our last little tidbit. Okay. That case actually took a lot of time. Okay. All right. I'll let y'all get your answers in, and then we're going to move on to this next one because it's pretty quick. Okay. So if you have watched this show with any regularity, you know that when someone gets sued for trademark infringement, usually people usually try to prove that they did it willfully so that they can get something called treble damages. So if someone, sues you for trademark infringement and they can show that you were totally doing this on purpose. You knew that you were infringing on their trademark. They asked you to stop and you kept doing it, and they were just, sticking their tongue out in your face. Hold on one second. Zephyrina has a comment about the footwear story. Zephyrina said, I could see it being a problem in the future for other companies trying to sell their footwear. It would be a problem if Nike gets this trademark passed. However, if Nike does not get this trademark passed, and this is a term of art within the athletic shoe community, like your expert son has told us, no one will be able to sell a shoe called footwear, but there might be a category of shoes that is coming out that is just going to be called footwear. And you can find that with any shoe manufacturer, footwear, WARE, might become its own category. Just like with athletic shoes, you have CrossFit, running, football, footwear. You might have that. You never know, right? Okay. So going back to our next story, like I was saying, when you, yes, hi Nessie time, when you file a trademark, right, a trademark infringement suit, a lot of times the party that is suing, they want something that is called treble damages. If you can show that somebody infringed on your trademark and they did it on purpose, and you tried to tell them to stop and they still kept doing it, and they were just being a jerk, and they were like, flipping you the bird when you asked them to stop, you can ask the court for 3 times the amount of damages that the person caused you. So let's say that you could show that because this person infringed on your trademark, you lost $1 million. If in the past, if you were able to show that they did it on purpose and, you asked them to stop and they didn't, you would be eligible to get $3 million as treble damages on top of the $1 million, right? But, let me see. Those who are defending their trademarks in the future, they don't have to have this extra layer to get treble damages anymore. The Supreme Court has just ruled that there does not need to be any willfulness in order to, disgorge an offending party of their profits. Now that sounds like a lot of fancy words. What that means is, in simple terms, is if you are suing from someone for trademark infringement going forward, you don't have to show that they were doing it on purpose in order for you to get their profits. So if they made $1 million selling your stuff, selling stuff using your trademark, you can still get those profits. It doesn't matter if they, if they knew they were infringing or not, if they knew it was on purpose or not. The Supreme Court has said, ignorance of the law is not a defense. If you infringe on someone's trademark, we are gonna take your money. Okay? Now, what does this mean? This means that this is probably going to lead to a lot more settlements when it comes to trademark infringement, because now you don't have the person who's suing for trademark infringement, they no longer have to prove that this other party did it on purpose. All they have to prove is that you did it, right? So, going forward, you're probably going to see a lot more settlements when it comes to trademark infringement, just because this extra layer of having to prove that a person infringed willfully is no longer necessary, and you can still take their profits as long as you can show that they did it, period. So what do you think about that? Do you think that that was a good move by the Supreme Court, or do you think it was a bad move? What do you think about that decision by the Supreme Court? Hi, Lifestyle of Lola. So what do you think? Do you think that you should still have to prove that the person infringed on purpose for you to get their profits? Or is it bad enough that they infringed on your trademark? So just imagine you've been working on your brand for 5 years. Let's say you make body butters, and then somebody pops up in the 5th year and they start selling body butters, and they're using your, logo or name. And let's just say they didn't know that you existed, but they're still selling and they're making money, and you sue them for trademark infringement. Before, you would have to prove that that person making body butters knew that you existed. You tried to get them to stop and they didn't stop. Now the Supreme Court is saying, well, you don't have to do all that extra. Just show us the person who is making the fake body butters and we got you. So do you think that was a smart move, a smart decision by the Supreme Court? Or do you think that they should keep that added layer of willfulness, meaning that you did the infringement on purpose? What do you guys think? Excuse me. This is so funny. We do these stories, and sometimes I think the show is going to be so short, and we only had 2 stories tonight, and we are 5 minutes away from our end time. So don't judge a story by its length. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think the Supreme Court got it right? I am a little on the fence about this decision because I just feel like in the time that we live in, there are much fewer barriers to entry to business, right? And you don't want to scare someone away from business because they're afraid of being sued. However, I also think it's going to make people more careful about, the brand names that they use. MJ Jackson said, that's why everyone in the business needs to own their name. First come, first serve. Very good statement, MJ Jackson. That's right. That's why it's important for you to do your due diligence when you are starting a business if you're using a name. Guys, do the search. Go to the USPTO. Check the test database and see if terms are trademarked. Go to your state website where your business is based because there are regional trademarks and state trademark. Make sure the business name is not already taken. Do a Google search, okay? Because now it don't even matter if you did it on purpose. If you did it, you done. They're going to take your money. Nessie Time said, if a person has a trademark and they showed the person they have the trademark, then they should respectfully stop. If they don't, then oh well. Well, Nessie Time, that's the whole thing. The Supreme Court has said that it doesn't even matter if the person knew that they were infringing on your trademark. It's just enough that they did it, period. And we still going to take your money. Hi, Javonia. And that's what I was asking. Do you think that was a good decision by the Supreme Court? Hello, Kenny Designs. Because the Supreme Court said it doesn't matter if the person didn't know you existed. The fact that they infringed on your mark, if you can show that they infringed on your mark, is enough. It doesn't have to be that they knew it was your mark. It doesn't have to be that they were doing it on purpose. It doesn't have to be that you asked them to stop and they didn't. All you have to show is that they did it. Okay? So what do you guys think about that? MJ Jackson said that's why everybody in the business needs to own their name. MJ Jackson is saying, dot your I's, cross your T's, and be on your P's and Q's from the beginning, and you won't have these problems. And I agree with MJ. Hi, M. Dolan 1. Hello. But yeah, MJ, you and me, we right here, girl. Okay. All right. So those were the stories that I had for you tonight. I honestly thought that the show was going to be much shorter than this, but our Nike versus Puma story, Nessie Time said she agrees. Our Nike versus Puma story took up so much time. But it was a great discussion. Thank you guys so much. I did not realize that there was so much into sneakers. Zephyrina's son was in here giving us some expert testimony. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so those were the stories that I have for you tonight. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, 8 p.m. as per usual. If you find any stories, please send them to me, you guys. I love when you guys send me stories because I can't catch everything. Make sure that you pick up Business Startup Basics for those of you who are, trying to use your Rona time productively and you trying to turn that business idea and that business dream into a business reality. Get Business Startup Basics. Going to give you a crash course in entrepreneurship so you can hit the ground running and make sure your business is set up properly, okay? Hi, DJ99 Elohim. Also, make sure that you go to Linktree. You can get that at linktree.ee/nplconsultingfirm. And while you're there, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your girl want her YouTube money, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as well, you can subscribe to the podcast because you can't always watch the video, but you can always listen to the podcast. All right. So that is what I am going to leave you with. I want to say good night to all of you. Take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves. And we will be back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.